Good afternoon and welcome to Solent Sports News. I'm Dan Hawkins. For the first time in 34 years, two South Coast rivals will battle it out in England's top tier. Southampton travel to the Amex on Sunday to face Brighton in the first El Clasico of the season. The last time these two met in the top flight, James Dyson was introducing his vacuum cleaner. In more local news, Hampshire side Eastleigh bucked the trend of rising ticket prices by allowing fans in for free to Tuesday's home tie with Solihull Moors. General manager of the club, Kenneth Amore, said the club are in a privileged position and can afford to lose ticket revenue.
I think we're very lucky to have the chairman that we have who has the money behind him where, although the gate money's great for us, we can do without it.
Tottenham have been dealt a huge blow ahead of Saturday's top-of-the-table showdown with Manchester United. In-form striker Harry Kane has been ruled out with a hamstring injury. The reigning Premier League Golden Boot holder has scored an impressive 13 goals in just 12 appearances so far this season.
The players are not machine. It's so difficult to cope with the international duty, play every 3 days. I think it's lucky because it's not a big problem. It's only a small issue, but not going to play tomorrow.
To Formula One now. Britain's Lewis Hamilton will become world champion for the fourth time if he can finish fifth or above in Mexico on Sunday. With practice underway for the Mexican Grand Prix, Hamilton is confident he will be on the podium this weekend, where a bottle of tequila will be waiting on ice.
It's going to be difficult, I think a lot closer between Red Bull and Ferrari and us, but I love that. And so I'm hoping that if I'm able to drive like I did in the last race last week, I think it could be a good weekend.
In the Rugby World Cup, Australia have beaten England by 18 points to 4 in the opening game of the competition. The Kangaroos have cemented themselves as favourites to win the tournament. Despite defeat, England will be hoping to be the first ever Northern Hemisphere side to lift the trophy. Our reporter, Jack Coslet-Green, has more.
Thanks, Dan. I thought England played very well. I thought that was an excellent opening account for the tournament, for the World Cup. They went into half-time 10-4 down after I thought the Australians dominated the first half, and they were still within the game. They came out second half much stronger. Roby and Gale in the halves dominated the game a bit more. England had a lot more of the ball, and I thought they really had a few chances to take the game away. They ended up trying one too many things in the end and threw one too many passes, and the Australians ran away with it. But I think there's plenty of positives to take away from that for the English, and I really do think that opening game was a dress rehearsal for the grand final in early December.
In local rugby, Southampton Solent Rugby Bees team saw their local derby against Bournemouth abandoned after it being ruled a no contest. Solent began the half 56-0 down with only 9 players on the pitch and no coaching staff present. They now have a 2-week break before facing Winchester on November the 8th. In cricket, Joe Root feels that the absence of Ben Stokes for the Ashes has provided an opportunity for other players to do something special. Stokes' September arrest is still under investigation after he was held under suspicion of committing ABH. England are due to fly out to Australia this Saturday, with the first test taking place on November the 23rd. In boxing, a British heavyweight champion will be putting his reputation on the line this Saturday. The WBA and IBF heavyweight titles will be up for grabs when Anthony Joshua faces Carlos Takam tomorrow in Cardiff. We will keep you updated across the afternoon as both men are due to weigh in ahead of their showdown. And 2 Englishmen find themselves in contention heading into this weekend's Shanghai World Golf Championship. Olympic gold medalist Justin Rose and Matt Fitzpatrick are in the chasing pack behind Dustin Johnson, who shot a 9-under par 63 to jump into the overall lead this morning. World number 1 Johnson praised the last-minute putter switch following his sensational round.
I wasn't really pleased with the one I played with yesterday, so the guys here in China made me one. I got it right before I walked to the tee. You know, I hit a few putts on the practice green with it, and I was like, oh, this will work pretty well, and went out and I holed a lot of putts today, so kind of like it.
That's all from us now. I'll be back in an hour. Please stay tuned in this afternoon though as we look ahead to tonight's huge local derby between Winchester and Salisbury, and also as Eastleigh look to avenge Tuesday's defeat at home to Solihull Moors with a long trip to table toppers Macclesfield Town tomorrow. Remember, you can keep up to date on our website solentsportsnews.co.uk.